Hello and welcome back to the Scale Modelling Cafe, and welcome to a short video on Eduard decals. Now, I think pretty much we're all aware that a few years ago Eduard changed their decals. They moved them in-house. They did outsource them to Cartograph. They moved them, like I say, in-house, having invested in some technology, and it caused a bit of a kerfuffle. Lots of people said they're unusable. Lots of people said that the fact that you can remove the carrier film after they've gone down is a bit of a gimmick, even though they're not designed that way. It's just a bit of a byproduct. And I just thought I'd do a short video on my 2p's worth. Now, I've just used Eduard decals on their little 109F in 72nd scale. In fact, here's the other one. I used the decals on both. On the sheet, it looks like they have improved. I think the initial releases from the Spitfire Mark 1, certainly the code letters, it looked, really quite, the colours look really washed out. I used them last year on the Avia S199 on the dark green one. The sort of lichen green or whatever it's called, not RLMO2. The other one, I actually sprayed those markings, but I used the kit decals on the green one. They looked a little bit washed out on the sheet, especially the reds and the blues, so those kind of stronger colours. And when I put them down over the dark green, they weren't that vibrant. I suppose, if I'm really honest, they kind of blended into the paintwork a bit, and actually I quite like the result. I know that's not a particular popular or mainstream opinion, but they were fine. Actually, for a 72nd scale model where you want the colours maybe a little bit more blended in, especially bright colours like reds and blues and things on markings, I thought they were absolutely fine. Those decals on a bigger scale, say 48th, I'm not so sure. The 1/72nd scale 109F, so this is a brand new kit. I used the national markings on them, and they were fine. I was a bit worried when you take them off the backing sheet. They look a little bit washy, not so much the black and white actually, but when you take them off the sheet, they are translucent. You can see through the image, which is surprising, especially on the black of the Balkenkreuzer, or whatever it's called, the black crosses. If you hold it up, you can actually sort of see your finger through the decal, which is a bit odd for black. Anyway, they perform brilliantly when you put them down. I just used Ammo's setting solution, the set. They sucked very quickly right down into the panel lines and the rivets, and they behaved really, really nicely. About an hour or two after they went down, I removed the carrier film. I just got a little bit of tape, not too tacky, and very gently tapped it until it just lifted the carrier film, and then it just peeled off fine. So from that point of view, it was great. Actually, I think in hindsight, because I was rushing a bit certainly on the second one, and on the fuselage cross on the left hand side, the decal had actually sort of split down the panel lines. I just touched it up with a little bit of acrylic paint, and it was absolutely fine. I think if I just left the decals overnight, the fact that the carrier film is over the top would make the decal a little bit stronger, and maybe I wouldn't have had that problem. It was only on that one decal though, and like I say, it was easily fixed. So behaviour wise, when you're using them, they perform brilliantly. Colour wise, again, I think they're absolutely fine. The black and the whites were absolutely fine. I had a little bit of bleed through from the yellow underneath the white on the fuselage cross on the winter one. But actually, I used extra decal on the other side, which were slightly too small, and I had exactly the same. What I did on the green one, on the other one, was I did mask out where the cross goes over the very top of the camouflage, and there was no mottling on that really, just a little bit of very light mottling in RLMO2 on the fuselage side, which had no effect. So, you know, a little bit of a faff, but not massive. Had I done the sort of the boundary between the RLM65 and the RLMO2 on the top, would that have shown through? Maybe, I don't know. But actually, looking at it on the model, they look great. So overall, my opinion of Eduard decals, I think they're absolutely fine. I think they behave fantastic. They're easy to use. You can remove the carrier film, which is a bonus. I don't think it's a gimmick at all. I think it's a happy accident that works. Are they as bad as everyone says? No, I don't think they are. This is just my opinion. Stick your opinion down below. A lot of people don't use the kit decals anyway, if I'm honest. There is obviously a very vibrant aftermarket for decals, so lots of people don't use them anyway. I tend to spray all my markings as well, not so much in 72nd. And friend of the channel, Nige, who normally does my masks, he's having a little bit of a break from the hobby, so I'm going to be using more and more decals, I think, going forward in the short to medium term, I think. But yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're usable, and I think they have improved. Can they be improved yet further? Yes, they can. If they can just make the image more opaque. So maybe I don't know how they're doing it. If it's screen printing or laser printer, I have absolutely zero idea how they're doing it. But if they could just make the ink a bit stronger, or maybe do another layer, I'm sure it wouldn't make them that, because they are terrifyingly thin. I'm sure that it would be fine. There we are. Just a quick video on my opinion on Eduard decals for what it's worth. And at the end of the day, if you don't like them, you don't have to use them. If you sort of get really angry and think they're unusable for the price, well, fine. Again, that's your opinion. No one's forcing you to use them. No one's forcing you to buy the kits. No one's forcing you not to use aftermarket. There we are. That's my opinion, and I thought I'd put it out there. Eduard decals, they're not as bad as I was led to believe. There we are. All right, I'll leave it there. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.